that I wanted to ask you about. Why can't I remember things anymore?
Because you're getting old. That's what happens.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm still older than you.
Are you doing anything with DOL? Was there an MMA DOL thing the other day?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, the thing had your name on it, so I don't remember now.
Animal control?
Oh, it might have been that one. Yeah,
Yeah, I sent out something for feedback on animal control.
yeah, that might have been that. I don't remember what I was thinking now.
Forwarded that to me.
Oh, you did? He hasn't responded.
No, I don't think you will.
Well, he should. We need feedback.
I will ask him. I mean, honestly, I think, we having a regional service, several towns.
Good evening at 6:30 in Readfield,
Yeah.
Maine. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight on March 23rd for a regular scheduled select board meeting. First off, we have our minutes from our last meeting, 26-076, from our meeting of March 9th. Entertain a motion.
I moved the minutes of February 23rd, 2026, as
Second.
presented.
Have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Thank you, Angelica. Those were fantastic. All those in favor? That's unanimous. Catherine is excused for this evening. Item 26-077, the warrants 37 and 38.
So we have warrants 37, 38 for a total of $501,313.55. The majority of that, per usual, was RSU at a little over 371,000. We also had a payment on our plow contract to Scott Horn for a little over 47,000. Other items of note, we had almost 7,000 to Central Maine Technology. About a third of that was hardware, 2/3 of it was support. And then we had a little over $10,000 to Cobussy Watershed District. Everything else was not that exciting.
I would move to approve the warrants 37, 38 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item, we have select board communications. Anybody have anything for this evening?
Just because Catherine isn't here, the county did post their videos on their website, but they did unlist them on YouTube. So I did contact them today, and they're actually now viewable on YouTube as of this morning.
Awesome.
So hopefully they'll get more than 20 views, which I was one of.
Jared and 19 others have watched it from Kennewick
Speaking
County.
of the public comment piece there, I did want to remind you about the agenda item, or at least talking at the end of the agenda about the connection that we have with KRDA, First Park, and seeing about maybe getting some kind of communication to them about having their meetings remotely available, because they've been fighting against that kind of the way the county has, and it's not helpful. So just wanted to bring that up as a possible future agenda item today or soon.
Great.
Are they supposed to, is that supposed to be something that we can, they should tell us when the meetings are and one of us should show up at?
I am the representative.
Oh, you
of
are?
Readfield,
Okay.
And I have been for the last 2 years, which is
Okay.
why remote meetings have become a talking point.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to mention that we, three of us and Eric attended the school board meeting last week to hear about the budget updates. There was a lot of information shared from the superintendent and the school board. There was a lot of public discussion for sure it had. We were there for a little bit. But, we're glad that we keep getting invited to those discussions. I think our board's pretty happy that the conversations are talking about strategic planning and what that could mean for us going forward as that line item on our town warrant has just been big. We all joke, even Jaron did tonight when he did the warrant about, well, the usual big one is the RSU. So I think we all know it's a big topic. And so hopefully we can keep being a part of those discussions as the planning commences. All right, next item is boards and committees. I don't see anybody here, but thank the planning board and the rec board for their minutes. If it pleases, we'll just check quickly on public communication. Any member of the public like to speak? I know you're here for an appointment, right? So nobody on Zoom. Okay, now 26078, consider appointment of Patricia Walsh Howe to the Conservation Commission. Patricia, do you mind going up to the lectern, introducing yourself and telling us? Oh, Bill will definitely make sure it is.
Well, you'll be able to hear me anyway. So I've lived in this community, I think 15 years now. My kids all went through Marinacott Community High School. And when COVID hit and they were all either on their own or in college, I decided to go back to law school. And so I completed it's a master's of law degree in environmental law. And I also have a master's in creative writing. And so I just wanted a lot of it's to get back to my community because I don't have the time. And the environment's always been a passion of mine for a very long time. I spent a lot of time in Vermont and wrote some papers and helped them with Vermont's Act 250, which is like their land conservation statute, if you will. And so I saw the opening for the Conservation Commission and I was like, well, I'll go there. So I attended the meeting last week, I think it was, and met everybody. And there's a position open. And so I thought I would express my interest.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? I'd entertain a motion.
I move to appoint Patricia Walsh to the Conservation Commission effective tonight through, there's no need.
Yeah, it's 6/30/27.
6/30/27, thank you.
Second.
I have a motion second. All those in favor?
Thank
That's
you.
unanimous.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for volunteering. Good luck. And you don't have to stay for the rest of our
It's
meeting.
pretty exciting, but you know, you might not want to miss it.
Oh, that's unfortunate, having to shovel.
My oldest was born in April. We have had some already so, yeah, it's neat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. So nice to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 26048, discuss the fourth fiscal year 27 budget draft.
Okay. I see you looking at me, Sean.
Hint, hint.
I would love you to tell us all the new highlights.
Well, I will, and that's actually where I'm going to start, is on page 39 of 52 in the packet. And I'm going to run through quickly the items between the blue lines here, which indicate the last time the board met to discuss this. So some of the changes that have happened is that I did run spell check.
I like that one. I was reading it. I like ran the spell check.
And
that doesn't mean email Catherine.
I did catch a few other things, so there was a need there. So anyway, now it's tip top shape, at least until I start writing something else again. But I also did review the note for the beach, and it should be $25,000. So that's what it should say. It was that full amount that the board had talked about, and was recommended by the budget committee. So that's correct there now. I did add 25,000 for the salt sand shed, which is something that we had talked about, and kind of fits into that same category. Well, if we're talking about doing it, and it's time to do it. And so that's in there as well. I did add Winthrop ambulance capital cost, which now brings us up to Winthrop ambulance costing $135,000, which is something 60,000 increase over last year. So dramatic increase. And Lee and I have been attending the meetings and just not getting the traction we were hoping for with getting service or by having a vehicle in Readfield or having a service level reduction. So we fought that fight. We're not winning. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of options. We are looking to other services still, but they took all of our good ideas about, raising money for capital so you can have a fully sustainable operation, but then haven't been willing to listen to us when we say, well, if you're saying you can't provide an ambulance because of call volume, why is call volume 50% of the formula? It ought to be more like 20% of the formula, or 80% and 20% of the population. But regardless, we just haven't gotten the traction we wanted, and they are running forward with getting the revenue that they believe they need to be sustaining their operation. I just feel that it should be coming more from Winthrop and Manchester and Monmouth, Winthrop and Monmouth mostly, who are the primary beneficiaries of that service. How we do that, it's tough to be having these discussions with 2 weeks left in the budget cycle. For a lot of towns, so it's tricky. But anyway, that's in there now. Now we're in the unfortunate position of having to pay and then have to try to backtrack later if we can, which I'm not optimistic about. But I just wanted to give a little bit of background about why that is, why it's so big, and give you a little bit of an indication of how little we can actually do about it at this point.
Yeah.
So. Let's see. So I adjusted the RSU budget to the current best estimate, which is the 4.7 million round number, and adjusted nonprofits to reflect the actual values, which is a small addition there of $348. I also adjusted the county tax to reflect the current budget, and I want to thank again Catherine for helping to manage that, and also providing me with good information early. If it wasn't for her, I would either have to reach out directly to the commissioners or to the manager, and I don't know if I would get it back. So she's been very good about promptly sending me those numbers. So that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Let's see. So the reflection there is actually about a $3,000 decrease. So that was a nice little benefit, that it was a little less than what we thought it was going to be. I set the mill rate at 11.596, and that's where things stand right now. I thought about making other adjustments, but I just haven't been able to wrap my head around what to do with energy costs, which is going to be a big one. I'm likely going to just increase every fuel and heating line by 50%. I don't know if that's right, but I'm definitely open to suggestions. It seems so volatile that I don't know what it's going to look like in June or next June, but open to suggestions.
I would like to know what it's going to look like for myself, as in personally. So I understand it's a hard thing to really look at right now.
I mean, it can be a sizable part of the operating budget for places like transfer station.
I was curious
town office.
if you've had other thoughts in relation to paving this year, because that could be
Yeah, he
substantial.
mentioned about holding off on the paving business, see what happens.
Yeah, I have had thoughts, and 3 weeks ago, I thought, well, geez, it's a little pinch, it'll be okay. I don't feel that way anymore. I think that we're just in uncharted territory economically and as far as world affairs go. So I think it's going to be a really hard sell for us to move forward with paving this year. We'll see what the bids come in at, and maybe we can figure something out, but I really don't feel comfortable doing anything. But I think that's one reason why we had so much interest in our paving bid that went out, because I think everybody else just said, we're not even bothering with putting it out.
Do all those bids come with a fuel clause in them, or is anybody willing to stake their price?
It comes with an escalator built in, and it goes both directions. And I thought, well, that's okay. We'll things will go up, they'll come down. I'm not so confident anymore. But we might, if the numbers are good, we might look at somebody and say, hey, if you can hold that price, or if we can figure out something this spring and get that work done, soon, and we can hold a number that's palatable, because they may have, for example, pulled back on some of their margin or their rates for labor in order to be more attractive, because everybody wants to work right now because it's going away. If there's value there, then maybe we could squeeze something out, but it would take a little bit of negotiation. It just gets tricky when you start.
That would be
doing
my thoughts. It would be if you get one that's willing to hold the line on it, do it for the price that they bid it. But otherwise, like you said, with the escalator in there, it could be
out of
We'd
our
get our
head.
butts kicked off,
right.
yeah, basically. Yep. And that's the way it's looking. I mean, things are getting worse, not better. So that's my thoughts on it. Yeah. Other things I need to look at, I need to review the transfer station line, that whole department again, to just make sure that budget versus actuals are coming in. I'll do a similar review, but not quite so detailed for all the budget lines, and just say, hey, are things still looking on track? And that'll be a final review. Basically, the next select board meeting will be voting on a final draft. So we're getting very close to the end here. I think that we've got good numbers. I am a little concerned that with the savings that we've put in place and the increases from Winthrop, that we're in the double digits for increases. We're at 12.4, I believe. Which is a lot. It's about $90 per household for an average household, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but then again, it is. Every little bit is, because they're paying more for energy, just like all the rest of us, and they're paying more for a lot of things. So it's kind of a tricky situation, because we don't want to be doing it next year in the middle of the reval and have people accuse us of kicking stuff in. We know we need the project, so it might just be time. But it always hurts to see a double-digit increase. We've seen it with the county, we've seen it with the school, but I was hoping we wouldn't see it ourselves, but here we are. So,
Well, and the hard thing too, I think, is we're not seeing any more service, right? It's
oh yeah, pure cost, yeah.
we're paying more for things that we have, like ambulance dispatch. We're not people, that's harder to swallow sometimes for people when they don't see why or where.
We do have a lot of money in savings and a lot of money going into reserves. And that's something we could look at, but I think we've been through.
Maybe that's next year's.
Yeah, that might be, yeah. But it's, I think we've had a good process, so I'd be hard pressed to say, well, we made a mistake, we should pull something out, right? But it doesn't, yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I can say that actually makes it feel a little bit better is if you look at the increase over the last decade, it's 25% over the last decade, which if you average it out, is 2.5% a year, which is inflation.
Right.
So that's a positive thing, but I just hate to see it all happening on the back end here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anybody that wants to know should read these sheets, because I really, those are what helps me when I try to talk to people about it. The mill rate goes over a lot of people's head at times, but if we can look at where we're paying and how that has gone relative over the last 10 years, I think sometimes that's more helpful too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants the budget to be zero, go down, but that's not realistic. And and the price of everything goes up regardless of fuel prices, or there's always going to be inflation to a certain extent. So I'd say to hold that as flat as it's been that's done well.
I think if we start taking things out of this budget at this point, everyone's gonna end up paying for it. And then some down the road, and I would rather suck it up this year and see a double-digit increase, knowing that it's saving us from a much worse, painful year down the road.
Yeah.
That makes good sense. And actually, I mean, because we're a smaller portion of the budget, even with the RSUs going up, 6%, I think, about, and the county is going up, more than that. I think the county was 12%. So we're actually not far from the county. But when you look at it overall, even with the town and county going up 12%, the overall increase is less than 8, I believe, for the actual tax bill out of pocket, for all of the things that we pay for.
Yeah.
So, another way to look at it, but again, I feel like we've done the best we can, and here we are. So, I'd love to drop out $75,000 for Winthrop, but can't do that either. And to be fair, I mean, when you look at ambulance services per capita basis, we're looking at something like $50 a person, which isn't terrible. Granted, when you have a ride, your insurance is going to pay thousands of dollars to them as well. But to have $50 a month or $50 a year to have ambulance service available in your community is not terrible. It just feels big when you
If
get
you
into
put it in
those-
that
those big
perspective, yeah,
jumps.
that's pretty cheap insurance.
Yeah, yep. So
Have they talked about response times?
we have, and they said, yep, and they really didn't give us any kind of feedback on it, other than to say, well, you're further out, but you're lower density, so we have to keep the ambulances where the call volume is. That was really the response we got, and they said they were willing to look at it because I really did push on it, but looking at it and doing something different, I don't believe we're not gonna come together. I don't think so, but we'll keep pushing.
I think that's a fair response if they drop their price accordingly.
And that's exactly what I said. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're using that in one respect, and then on the other hand, you're using it to calculate your figures.
Right. They're talking out
You
both
can't,
sides of the mouth.
exactly, you can't.
They can have one or they can have the other. I would feel equitable with that, but I just don't feel equitable with us getting the short end of the stick on both sides of it.
yeah, well, I might, or we should, I think, now that we've gotten through this budget hurdle with them, and it's really hurdle's not quite the right word, but I think that we can spend more time looking at this issue specifically and planning ahead and trying to build an argument to present that says, hey, this is a better way to do it. This is a more fair way to do it. At this point, I do believe they're above market. I think that, we got a price from an ambulance provider who was not willing to provide service at the time because of hiring shortages and things like that. But it was 10% less than what they're charging, what Winthrop's going to charge us. And they were planning on having an ambulance in the building during the daytime, 7 days a week. And talk about a dramatic difference in service there for less money, and make the argument, yeah, we had to add stuff and whatever else, and so it's the same money even, but we're getting dramatically better service. So, but again, if they're not going to show up and do that, then we're up, we're not able to. It's not a valid argument because there's nothing to lean back on. So,
Any other questions about the budget this evening? Okay, moving on. 26072, consider a draft of the 27 town meeting warrant. Any changes, Eric, really, from 2 weeks ago?
no, I mean, a few. I mean, there are little edits that Teresa caught. A word number discrepancy. There was I had added a couple of lines in a subcategory, so I can't remember what it was. It might have been maintenance or something where I not added the numbers up correctly, or I used an old number, whatever. But we've been through this a few times now, and Teresa does a great job of editing, and so we've modified everything to reflect the changes that were suggested at the last meeting, and anything else that's come up. I will note that we do have 2 folks with papers out right now, but I will update the actual warrant based on who returns them.
For school board?
For
and/or
select board,
Or
yeah.
for select board?
Yep.
Okay.
School board, as far as I know, we still only have that one set of papers out. So.
Okay.
And
Eric, I just have one
That's
other
it.
question about all the nonprofits and such
yes,
this year. How many of them came in with asking for more?
I'd say 50%, something like that. And everybody followed the procedure that we had updated and outlined. One didn't. There's one that's not on here. I can't remember which one it is. It might be behavioral health, KBH. And Kristen is very good about this. She communicates with all of them through email and phone calls. And she told them many times that they needed to get their documentation in order to be on the warrant, and they didn't. So there's one less this year. Or I guess it's the same number. We dropped one and then we added one. We added
neighbors and neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's net the same, an increase in cost, but yeah, several of them added, went from, up anywhere from a few percentage points to, 50%, for example, which sounds like a lot, but one of them was, the food pantry, and the board actually, I think, suggested going from 1,000 to 1,500 for them, so. They're happy to take it though.
And I was just curious, I thought the Readfield Union Meeting House got to their number.
I don't know if they did or not. I do know that they submitted a petition with the same request and that they did the same process. So
Okay.
that's a good question. I will ask them where they are with their fundraising.
Yeah, I thought there was something in the newspaper not too long ago, or the news about.
Yeah, I know they did get a ton of money from congressionally delegated spending that was on
Because
in
of
limbo.
historic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know where they stand exactly. So.
Anybody else have any other questions for Eric about the warrant as presented?
I just have one small question. On Article 2, it says elect 2 select board members and it's Dave and a write-in, but then on the RSU, it says elect 1 and it's Brian and a
Well,
write-in.
then both of those are switched.
Yeah.
So I need to switch those. That's great. Good catch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it 2?
Yeah, we're electing, I guess I should put it this way, we're looking one each, one select board member, one school board member.
Oh, okay.
So that's a typo.
Thanks for bringing that up. I noticed it 2 weeks ago and then I forgot to ask about it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it shows that, we can all read it 5 times and find something different. So I will make a note of that and correct it.
Okay, moving on to new business. 26079, discuss the annual Readfield cleanup day. What do we got planned, Eric?
Scrolling down here. It's hard without a mouse. I should keep forgetting to bring my damn mouse.
Page 15.
What we're looking at is doing a similar event to what we've done in the past, more like the old
Get
style,
together.
where we have a get together, have the one-day event. If people want to do it outside of that, they can, but we actually haven't proposed a date. I wanted to make sure the board had an opportunity to help choose, especially after the whole community volunteer appreciation issue we had last time, Sean. But 8 to 8:30 to noon is what we were planning on doing, and have everybody meet in the fairgrounds parking lot and get gear, talk about scheduling, and go from there, and also do the sign up genius like we've done in the past. So very standard fare. The only question is the actual date. I think in the past we've done Saturdays or Sundays, but really up to you.
It's usually somewhere around this. Well, usually it's on my anniversary, May 18th. So.
Well, if you want to move it away from that, Dave, or if you want an
No,
excuse.
doesn't matter to me. We'll probably be. We don't do anything.
Well,
special.
Mother's Day is the 10th, so we should not do that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is always the thing. The
Is it
Memorial
on a
Day,
Saturday?
the Mother's Day.
So it should be the 17th then.
Right. Yeah.
Denied.
Well, there.
Well, I think the 17th sounds good.
Don't tell Mandy that. Don't I get any ideas.
That car registration is gonna cost you a lot more.
Yeah, right.
He knows that. 17th looks okay for most folks.
I think that's the only week that ever works in May anyway.
Seems to be, yeah, and it's not been well attended, so I really want to put a lot of effort this year into getting getting more people together. The good thing is that we've done this for long enough that a lot of people just do their roads anyway. You know, they're out, they say, you know what, I'm gonna clean up my road, and they do it all year round. So I think that we have seen a real positive impact from this effort. But it's just a little bit hard to get people together to do it lately. So we want to do some more to get the word out.
17th it is.
All right, other business. Eric, would you like to just, I think we can bring up the agenda, add a new agenda item on the first park.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, basically, I think that it's Jaren can speak to the details of it, but what I would like to do is just get an authorization from the board to send a letter to their board saying what gives, and ask for some consideration of public and member participation. Jaren?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking at this point is I've been asking for 2 years and I've been told for 2 years that it's gonna happen. And it has not materialized. And at this point, they're saying next month they're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, so,
And they just keep giving lame excuses.
well, I'd make a motion to authorize Eric to draft a letter to the first park board on behalf of the select board for instituting or establishing some virtual meeting platform.
Second,
Motion a second. All those in favor? Any further discussion? That's unanimous.
Too late.
So Sean, I did have one last item before you get ready to adjourn. I can see it in your eyes.
Oh, I added an extra item already.
Oh, you did? Okay. What do you got?
Well, that was it. No, go ahead.
Oh, so I did include in the meeting materials an excerpt from the strategic planning document that was presented at the school board meeting, because I was asked to participate in the planning phase of this. So plan to plan committee, helping to select the contractor that might be doing the consulting work to help the school through this process, doing a little bit of scoping, things like that. And so I just highlighted that. And I wanted to bring it to the board because, you know, I don't want it to be seen as a conflict of interest. I did talk to one of the members of our the City and Town Managers Association to get their take on whether or not that might be a professional conflict. And as long as I think, representing myself and not the town, and you know, pulling on my experience in municipal government with urban regional planning, with interlocal collaboration and things like that, it shouldn't be an issue. But I just wanted to make sure the board was okay with me potentially getting into a little bit of a mud hole, at least peripherally, by being involved with the planning phase of this. Because as you know, there's already a lot of strong emotions around it. So I just wanted to run that by you guys and make sure it was okay.
So not to be part of the planning committee, but to be part of the plan committee.
Yes, and the second phase, if there's any interest or if there's an intent to move into that, I would certainly come back to you and ask again. I would be a little bit more reticent to go beyond this first phase anyway. So
I think I too would not really think it makes sense for you to do the next phase, because I think it's going to be all encompassing, all time, all dancing. But I would encourage them to be reaching out and seeing what sort of communication. I hope there is continued communication with the town's boards across all of RSU 38, not just ourselves. So, but yeah, I don't have any issues with that. If anybody,
No, I
Do you
think
need-
your
you don't-
experience would be good on that.
yeah,
okay.
we don't need to
Actually,
vote.
like to have you. I'd rather see you there.
Well, I mean, I'll be doing it outside of work time. It's
Yeah.
going to be a separate thing, but I just, again, perception of conflict is as important as an actual conflict. And I just wanted to make sure we were good. So
Yeah, I don't see any
Fine.
concerns. We don't need to make a vote on that or anything.
No,
You're
no.
just
no, I'll just
making it public that you're doing that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's on camera. So.
Yeah, it's real. All right. Well, I'll respond to the school board and let them know that I'm interested. So
Great.
because I am, I think it's a really great opportunity. So
Any other agenda items, future agenda items people would like to bring forward? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Was it discussion?
No.
Well, that was